Today, we're going to be reviewing an Emerald of Katong, an upcoming launch coming up in District 15, East Coast area. So, for those of you who are not aware, there has been a bit of hype around this project, in particular because when this project's land was up for bid for sale, the developer Simlian actually managed to buy the land at a much cheaper price than the opposite neighbors, TEMBUSU Grand, right? So subjects to note is that this is also the first project in District 15 that has the harmonization rule in place, which means that later when we look at the break-even price analysis, you will notice that it's a bit higher than what is supposed to be the original one because we need to factor that the harmonization rule is in place. That's why developers have to charge a higher profit margin. Okay, so without further ado, let's start taking a look at the developers. So like I mentioned, the developers is Simlian. So it's really a 老字号 lah. They've done some of the projects around here. They've done a lot of projects around Singapore area. Some of their notable projects, such as Botany, Treasure at Tampines, all selling quite well. Tampines Trillion. So maybe you don't want to consider Tampines Trillion because you might feel that Tampines Trillion is an EC exterior may not be as nice. But they do have some other projects, Rochelle and Newton, Treasure Crest, Wonderville, quite a few projects in Singapore. Alright? So location wise, Emerald of Katong is going to be located right opposite Tembusu Grand. So the other plot of land circled here is Tembusu Grand. All of this will be along the Jalan Tembusu Road. Next to you, to your left and to your right are all like mostly landed houses. Right? Of course, this is in the District 15 area. Okay, looking at the connectivity, MRT station wise, nearest MRT station to you is Tanjong Katong MRT station and Marine Parade MRT station. Alright, both of these are on the Thomson East Coast line. So if you're considering you want to go a bit further, you want to take a different line, Dakota MRT is about 1 kilometers away and that is on the Circle line. Paya Lebar, of course, most connected. You have multiple lines intersecting there or rather exchanging there. 1.49 kilometers away on the Green Line. Okay, schools wise. Now, Tembusu Grand. Emerald of Katong is next to Tanjong Katong School. Within 1 kilometer radius, the most notable one is the Tanjong Katong Schools, Tanjong Katong Primary, and of course, there's a secondary and girls school as well. Another one to highlight is Konghua. Konghua is actually not within 1 kilometer from Emerald of Katong, right? Chongqing High School Main is also within 1 kilometer, but of course, secondary school, there is no preferred application or anything, so you don't have to consider that unless your kids are going to and from school, and that's a consideration factor. Coming out from Emerald of Katong, if you take a short walk out, you will actually reach Katong Shopping Center, which may not have a lot of things. There's some food options. If you go a little further down, I think you head to a little more interesting malls. Katong I12 Parkway Parade. On the opposite direction, you also have Kinex Mall, City Plaza, PLQ, right? But that's about 1.52 kilometers away, a little further. Alright? Okay, let's look at the unit mix. So total 846 units in the whole project, out of which 10% 1 bedder, 34% 2 bedders, 83% 3 bedders, 45 bedders. Okay, so important to note, 5 bedders 4%, and 5 bedders actually comprise only 2 stacks of the entire project. And they just so happen they are all situated in the exact same block. So 5 bedders ironically have a bit lesser choices, where everything is tucked in one corner of the project. That's also because you are in the Lux segment of the market already, right? So you look at this unit mix, what does it tell you? Okay, my takeaway is there's a good mix of 1 and 2 bedders, which are primarily catered towards investors. Investors prefer 1 and 2 bedders, 44%, and you have 3, 4, 5 bedders, which is about this is 44 or 56%, which is a healthy amount as well, right? So there's a good mix of investors and own stay. You don't want to get into an area where it's mostly just like 1 bedder units, where that's all your investors. There is constant flux of unknown tenants. There's always people that you do not know, and you don't want it to be entirely that full of 2 bedders, 3 bedders, 4 bedders, where really trying to cater towards just own stay unit and You may not have a good amount of people buying in because the quantum is too high, right? So this to me signals a pretty healthy mix, I would say. In District 15 in particular, important to take note, in District 15, East Coast area, I think this is healthy to me, right? I'm liking it. Okay, land bid price, break even 1911 PSF. But unlike what is stated here, where the break even is supposed to be 1911, actually personally I think it's probably closer to 2001 because of the harmonization rule that I mentioned, right? In the past, harmonization rule, if you're not aware, in the past, the developers used to be able to sell you all the aircon ledges as part of your sellable area. So if you bought something that is, let's say, 550 square feet, it's actually inclusive of your aircon ledges, right? Something like 969 square feet, 3 beders, include all your aircon ledges and all that. Maybe it's only about 904, something like that, right? But now what we're going to look at, later we'll go into the actual floor plan itself. All of the floor plan that is quoted as all livable areas. Alright, so this is the site plan for the whole project. Okay, now, first things first, like I mentioned, if you are buying the 5-bedder units, you don't have as much choices. You only have block 59, these two stacks, right? Stack 32 is the only one that you're looking at with a private lift. Stack 33 does not have a private lift, all right? But other than that, whether you're in the market for a 1-bedder, 2-bedder, 3-bedder, 4-bedder, you have quite a few choices on the facing that you want. You have a few choices on the facing the direction, the blocks, the stacks that you want, right? Even the 1-bedder you can see here, stack 30, there is a pool facing 1-bedder, right? Okay, bring your attention towards the building configuration. Different buildings have different number of units as well, right? Block 59 has 4 units. Block 53 has 6 units in one block. The rest all have 8 units. So if you are somebody who prefers a little more privacy, prefers a quieter lift lobby, doesn't want as much people in there, you might be considering towards the block 53. If you are in the 2-3-bedder market, 2-3-4-bedder market, 53 and 59, right? If you are 1-bedder unit, then sorry, you have to buy one of the blocks with 8 units on that level, right? But other than that, you can have exterior facing 1-bedders, or you can have pool facing 1-bedders as well. So you have a choice over there. Okay, now I'll be going into the floor plan itself directly. Okay, now first floor plan we'll be looking at is a 1+ study, 484 square feet. Okay, important to know, I have another point down here. I wrote pre-harmonization, which is what it's going to feel like. If you are in the market now, or you have seen any show flats recently that's about 527 square feet or somewhere there, 510, 513, all right, it's going to feel very similar to what you're going to get at the 1+ study in Emerald of Katong, all right, because they don't sell you all the aircon ledges, doesn't include. Okay, one thing to know, I think this is a pretty standard layout. Of course, 1-bedder, you don't have a enclosed kitchen, you just have a kitchenette area, right? One thing to take note is that the study area in the 1-bedder is actually inside the master bedroom, which is a little weird to me, you know. Depends on whether you personally like it. All right. Now, another thing to consider is that this study, if you have your own Omni desk or something like that, Ergo desk, whatever it is, your study area only caters up to a 1.2 meter table. If you have a 1.8 meter table, sadly it's not gonna fit unless you're okay with it cutting into the space of your master bedroom. It's gonna take 60 centimeters away from your bedroom, from your bed, right? So that's a point to consider. Other than that, I think this is a pretty standard floor plan, 1+ study, no wasted space, everything pretty straightforward. So we'll move on to the 2-bedders. So this is a 2-bed premium, 624 square feet, pre-harmonization 689. Okay, this is a dumbbell layout, and personally, this may differ according to your own needs. Personally, I like dumbbell layouts because there's a lot of flexibility. Whether you're a young couple staying in the master bedroom and looking to rent out the other bedroom, or whether you have a teenager who might prefer their own privacy, they have a lot of flexibility in arranging the space to your needs. This is why I like dumbbell layouts, but important to note that if you don't like dumbbell layouts, then of course my point doesn't stand. It's for my personal use. Okay, so you're gonna look at the longer dining and living. It's 4.8 meters here versus the one bedder that is gonna be 4.2 meters and 2.6 meters across. It's 2.7 and 4.8, so it's gonna be bigger. And kitchen area 2.7, 2.8, close, very close kitchen size, right? Mainly what you're getting is the extra bedroom and the larger living and dining area. Okay, next floor plan we're going to look at 646 square feet, 2 bedroom premium. Okay, you're gonna have a much larger living and dining area here compared to the previous 2 bedroom layout. All right. Another point to take note that this is gonna make or break some of your purchase decisions. The kitchen is actually located in a separate area, right? Now with the previous floor plan, the kitchen is integrated into the living and dining area. So it may feel like if you are not really actively using the kitchen, it may feel like a bigger living and dining area. This will have the space is sort of broken up. So the kitchen is going to feel like it's a separate space by itself. Good if you're cooking and you want to have like a separate space to cook, but it may make your living dining feel smaller even though it actually is larger. All right. Bedroom size, other than that, pretty much the same. Bedroom 2 is slightly smaller, but your big difference here, the 20 square feet difference, is going to come in your living and dining bigger space and your separated kitchen. Okay, now we move on to the 2 plus study layout. This is the first 2 plus study layout. And if you take a look here, okay, pre-harmonization, let's knock that out of the way first. Pre-harmonization, this will feel like a 753 square feet unit, which is very healthy for 2 plus study. I've seen like 600 plus square feet, 646 square feet for a 2 plus study, which is honestly quite small. Okay, kitchen wise, same size. Living, the balcony is the same size, bedrooms are the same size. Living and dining is slightly larger, but the study area you actually get over here. Actually, and if you notice, if you try to picture and envision this, it extends out your entire living and dining. So in contrast to what we previously saw at the 2 bedroom premium with the kitchen being separated and there not being any study space, now everything sort of integrate together. You can make an argument maybe if you're cooking down here and you are working down here, it's kind of like slightly disruptive. But as long as you're not doing both at the same time, this whole space integrates very nicely. You have a much bigger living and dining area, right? The study measures 1.7 meters across. So if you have a 1.8 meter desk, still cannot. But if you put it this way, then okay, right? Because 1.7 at most you cut out of the wall a little bit, right? If you have anything like 1.6 meter desk and below, then not an issue. You can fit in however way you want. It's a good size study area, I would say. 1.8 meters. I personally am using a 1.8 meter table. I think that's a good size, right? And like I mentioned here, most of the size comes purely in the study. If you're not using a study, everything feels like a much bigger living and dining area. So that's what you're buying for if you're looking at the 2 plus study layout, if you're looking at this floor plan. There is another 2 plus study layout, 69 square feet. Now this one has a separate area for the study. Pre-harmonization, this will feel like a 765 square feet. Okay, balcony, bedrooms, all the same. Kitchen is slightly smaller than the previous unit, but much larger study where you have 2.7 meters now versus 1.4 meters. 2.7 meters is freaking huge. Okay, so you can see how you want to play around. You can have honestly, with a 2.7 meters, you can have a dual desk setup. You can have a workstation and your partner's workstation next to you. Alright, the study is also next to bedroom, which is probably a bit more conducive rather than it being next to the kitchen where you're cooking halfway, you're having a Zoom meeting halfway, don't really make sense. But take note because you're cutting some of the space out of the kitchen to put into your study area. Okay, so this is the second 2 plus study layout. Suitable if you want to fit in 2 workstations and you prefer your kitchen to be, of course, with this without the study area extending the space, you don't get as much space in your living and dining. It doesn't feel as spacious, right? That's the point to take note versus this floor plan where your study is integrated into your living and dining area. Okay, the next 2 plus study layout, 700 square feet, pre-harmonization 786, same bedroom, balcony, living, same study size as the previous one, but you get a larger kitchen. Okay, and this kitchen actually feels really good. You get a larger kitchen and it feels like a enclosed kitchen, right? So yeah, you get this if you want. If you don't want to compromise on having the reduced kitchen over here, but yeah, you want the big study area, you go for the 700 square feet, which is actually technically a 786 square feet right now. Okay, that's it for the 2 beders. Let's go into the 3 beders. First 3 bedder, we have 883 square feet. This is a very, very good size. 883 square feet. After harmonization, pre-harmonization is 969 square feet. Bedrooms are all the same size. All right, 2.5 by 3.2, 2.7 by 3.6. Moving forward, we're gonna look at a lot of common bedrooms. They're all gonna be 2.5 by 3.2 meters, 3250 meters. Okay. Now, first part, of course, for the 3 beders. First thing to note is that the kitchen is enclosed. Not only that, your wall-to-wall distance is now 2.9 meters instead of the previous 2.5, 2.7 meters. Longer wall-to-wall distance. This is already closing towards the 3 meters wall-to-wall distance, so it's going to feel a lot better. It doesn't feel, your house doesn't feel as cramped as, as tight. All right, and because of the wall-to-wall distance is longer, your balcony also naturally gets a bit longer. Right, larger living room, and you have a small little entry area here for you to put your shoe racks, for you to put some art pieces if you want to, right? So this is the 3 bedder layout, kitchen, bathroom, 3 bed, 2 bath, pretty standard. Over here, no wash closet, so no extra space being used there. Next 3 bedder layout, 904 square feet, pre-harmonization 1001. Right, like I mentioned, all the bedrooms are the same size, kitchen is the same size, balcony is 3050 instead of 2950, marginally larger, just a bit more. Wall-to-wall distance 3 meters now, so you actually get a lot more space. And living and dining, same length, 6.2 meters. Where does the space come from? 883 to 904 mostly come in your entryway here, this little box here. So if you want a little more privacy, you want to store a little more things there, you want to put a bike there, you have kids toys you want to put there to bring out, if you have kids, this layout might probably be a bit more suitable for you. Personally, I don't really need such a big space. I can always put it outside the house as long as nobody complains. So, but you do according to your own needs, according to your own family needs. All right, next one, we're gonna start looking at the 3 bedroom plus study, 969 square feet. Pre-harmonization, this will be 1066 square feet. Master bedroom is now 10% larger compared to what you previously have, right? So 4 meters, 2.7 meters across, 4 meters is 3.6 meters, so it's a little more than 10% in fact. Balcony, wall-to-wall distance 3.1 meters, so that's why your balcony also enlarges. Kitchen is more rectangular now. Then you go for a rectangular kitchen, and it's a bit larger. Okay, 3 plus study is where we start to see a very new interesting thing that came up. I mean, not the study of course, but if you look closely at the floor plan, now we have something called store. We have this extra little pocket space for you to keep all of your items. It was not available in the 1, 2 or the 3 standard layouts, but now the 3 plus study onwards, you're going to have a store to consider. Alright, of course, wash closet I forgot to mention. You have one extra, so technically it's a 3 bedder, 3 bed, 3 bath. If you consider the wash closet 3 bed, 3 bath, right? So can you market it as 3 bed, 3 bath when you are in the resale market in future? Of course you can, right? This is the 969 square feet, and in fact, technically if you go to a shop flat now, this is the 1066 square feet layout. Okay, yeah. Other than that, bedrooms same size, study 1.6, 2.5 meters, good sized. You can put in 1.8 meters. You cannot, it's not 2.7 meters like the 2 plus study, but if you want to put in 2 workstations, you and your wife, technically I think still okay, still can put over here. Alright, 990 square feet, 3 plus study, pre-harmonization 1089, marginally bigger than what we previously saw, just a bit more. Same balcony, bedroom, study, slightly smaller store. This mall is very, very slightly smaller and it's rectangular. Kitchen is the same size. but living and dining is where all your space went, right? Wall to wall distance 3.1 meters, and in fact everything is elongated here. You're gonna look at it as the space you're gonna feel is more rectangular, right? Your living room has got a bit of a upgrade in the length. It really gonna be able to feel it, especially after you come in, because there is no entryway here, no entrance or anything. The moment you come in, on your right is your kitchen, then after it extends out to your living and dining, you'll be able to feel the difference, right? So personally, I think this is a pretty good floor plan, one of the three-bedder floor plans that I prefer a bit more, because living and dining, if it's an important thing to you, it's non-negotiable. Okay, next one, 3-bedroom flexi, pre-harmonization. Okay, I have all the answers here, but just in case you want to know why is it called a flexi and why is it the same as why is it different from the 3+ study? Why is it called 3-bedroom flexi? It's only because this wall over here can be hacked. This particular wall can be hacked. If you want to hack this wall, you can extend out. If you don't need a study, you can hack this wall. Or if you want to convert a bedroom to a study, you hack this wall, living and dining gets bigger. You can shift your whole dining table in, your living room gets much more spacious, right? The main difference is whether you want to go for the flexi wall. That's just it. All right. Next one, 1023 square feet, 3+ study. Now you notice a big size difference. Pre-harmonization, this is 1130 square feet. Bedroom, balcony, living room, all same size. Where did the space come from? Your entrance. All right, kitchen marginally smaller, but you notice with this entryway, the previous 3-bedders we see had no entrance, had no like little pocket the moment you enter. With this floor plan, you open the door, you leave your door open even if you want to do it. People are not going to be able to see into your room at all, see into your house at all. Everything is, they're only going to see your wall. That's why I say here, if you like it, if you like privacy, I can see this being a important factor, being a pick for you. Extra size, if really important, then no choice lor. But personally, I would still prefer the other 3-bedder layouts lah. Alright. Bedroom, balcony, living, all same size. Storeroom is quite a bit bigger. About actually probably 40% bigger than the previous storeroom. Yeah. 1.1, 1.5. Still a bit more rectangular, but now you actually have a very, very good size storeroom here. Okay, now we move on to the big ones. The big units, 4+ study, 1152 square feet, pre-harmonization 1270 square feet. Right? If you look at it here, the master bedroom is actually much larger. This 3.6 meter does not include your walk-in wardrobe over here. So previously when they did the measurements, 4 meters include the wardrobes. This one doesn't include the wardrobe. That's why actually your bedroom, you may look at the size and say, hey, it looks like it's smaller. Actually not, because it stops at the wardrobes. It doesn't include the wardrobe. Bedroom 2, 3, 4 is the same. Bedroom 2 and 3 is the same. 3.2 by 2.5 like I mentioned. All the bedrooms moving forward quite similar. Other than bedroom 4 here. Bedroom 4 is a bit larger. 3.2, 2.6. So just 10 cm lah. Yeah, maybe you can't really even feel it yourself. Study 2.6 by 1.5, not 2.7, you still don't get it, unlike your what they call that, 2+ study, which is 2.7 by 1.4, but 1.5, 2.6 is actually about the same size, right? It's just a slightly different configuration. You get a bit more in the width, but slightly shorter in the length. Kitchen is smaller over here. Kitchen, wet kitchen and dry kitchen is separated, that's why. And no entrance at all, so all livable space. All this space is all nicely tucked away. Everything comes in, is all usable space here. Of course, you have your wash closet here, right? Total 3 bathroom. Let me count 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 bathroom. 3 bathroom here. So from your bedroom 4 have to use the wash closet or something. Then bedroom 2 and 3 can use your bath here, right? Another point you take note is your dining is tucked away in a corner here. So if you are sitting on the sofa here facing a TV, or sorry, you're sitting on the sofa here facing a TV, your dining is out of your field of vision, of your scope of vision. Actually, this whole space feels like, all the way until the dry kitchen, feels like an extended living room. So your dining is tucked away in that area. Perceptually, this is how it's going to feel. Whether you actually feel it that way depends on how the renovation goes for your own house or your ID goes for your own house lah. Okay, now next one, 4 plus study, 1152 square feet. In fact, actually, this is the floor plan that I mentioned looks like it's the same size as the previous one, 1152. But yet the measurements they give for the storeroom is slightly larger. The bedroom 4 is slightly larger, but the size wise, looks to be a mirror image of the other one. But yet it's slightly longer here and there. So I'm kind of confused personally, I would say. Differences are very, very minor versus this 4 plus study floor plan. Both are almost the same mirror design. Like I mentioned here, slightly larger studies, similar size 1 to 3, slightly larger bedroom 4, looks 2.7, 3.2 versus 2.6, 3.2, 10 cm difference, very, very minor. And I'm not sure if they got the square footage wrong or what, but the way it looks to me is like it's almost similar. So if both are selling the same price, of course, just go for this one where you get 2.7 meters, right? It's a bit longer, it's a bit bigger, store is slightly bigger as well. Okay, now go to the next one. 4 bedroom premium 1259 square feet, pre-harmonization 1389. Bedroom 1 to 3, once again, same size. Bedroom 4 is a bit smaller now. So bedroom 4, 3.2, 2.5. Where is your bedroom 2, 3.2, 2.5? Yeah, everything is 3.2, 2.5. Previously, you have bedroom 4 that is 3.2, 2.7. So 20 cm difference can be felt, can be quite sizable. Bigger living and dining, bigger kitchen. And important to note, this 4 bedroom premium does not come with a study. But it has, in its place, HS, your favorite household shelter. Okay, much bigger, 5 meter balcony over here. 5 meter is freaking huge. Living and dining, okay. So you see here, for this layout in particular, you can technically have a wall-to-wall distance of 5 meters. Most of the time, you'll still put it about 3 meters if you're used to watching TV a certain way. Used to be, if you look at the previous floor plans that we've been analyzing so far, your dining area is usually behind your living area, but now it's separated here. So you have a lot more space here to work with. If you have a piano, if you are a family, your kids are learning pianos, off the top of my head, what else can you do? You can have a much bigger coffee table in between. Some of the new design coffee table that spins around, extends, opens out, can be a bit more space, can demand a bit more space, so you have a bit more space to play with over here, right? Other than that, I think personally you're gonna feel the big difference in the living and dining because of purely from the configuration. Bedrooms wise, very similar, 3.6 meters all the way under the wardrobes. Then you have your walk-in wardrobe, master bedroom. Bedroom wise, mostly the same. You're not gonna feel much. You're gonna appreciate the household shelter. The store's still here for you, by the way. It's still here. So your household shelter here, if you have like a helper, living domestic helper, if you need extra storage space, if all this available to you. Okay, next one, 4 bedroom premium, 1270 square feet, pre-harmonization 1399. There is a square meters of difference, 1270 versus 1259, 1 square meter difference. Mostly is felt in the entrance, right? So unlike the previous 4 bedroom plan, how this feels, the difference comes in the long entrance. This entrance is slightly shorter, this entrance is a bit longer. You come in here, once again your neighbors are going to see your wall, unlike the previous one where they can see into your house. If you open the door, people can see into your house. Here, people see the wall. If you are somebody who prefers a bit more privacy, and you don't want people to look into your house, but yet you want to open the door, leave the doors open, leave the gates open, then this might be a bit more suitable, where you have a bit more privacy. The storeroom over here, personally, I feel that it's a bit, it's located in an area that's not very accessible. I'm assuming stores maybe you want to keep some chairs if you have guests over, or some of your maybe toys for your kids. It's a bit tedious to come here, take the toy, bring to a living dining, then bring it back here. So perhaps you just use this for shoe racks or to keep some of the items that you don't really use that much, luggages, stuff like that. And that becomes then de facto, where do you keep all your toys and all that here? It's a bit something to ponder. You put it the household shelter there, you have to walk also, maybe not as accessible. Yeah, but I say that, but maybe I'm a bit lazy lah. Okay, now going to the next one. 4 bedroom Lux plus study, 1302 square feet, 1432 pre-harmonization. Balcony upgraded from 5 meters to 5.6 meters. Alright, so 10% difference. Bigger yard. This is your yard area now, but smaller kitchen. Kitchen has been downsized a little. Bigger study than the 4 plus study. Let me see, your study 2.6 meters, 1.2 meters. 1.2 meters is getting kind of close for comfort also already, yeah. Because your desk itself, if you consider if you have like a desk, Omni desk, 60 cm, then that means only use 60 cm behind to roll your roller chairs. 2.6 meters is still a good size though. Once again, you can put in dual, you can put in what do you call that? Yeah, 2 workstations. You can have a dual workstation set up. You can have you and your wife, you and your 2 kids, study there together. That also works. Bedrooms 2 to 4 is the same size. Master bedroom though is where your big difference comes. 4 meters. Previously we had 3.6 meters without wardrobe. Now 4 meters without wardrobe. And not to mention, you have 1.6 meters and 2.8 meters of wardrobe space. This is huge. Your wife is gonna love you. Buy this one. Don't think about it already. Your wife is gonna love you. Okay, jokes aside. Master bedroom is where most of the space is concentrated. You have a real walk-in wardrobe here. You can even do up a partition to separate your wardrobe, right? But you're gonna fill the space because your master bedroom, if you notice, you have a dressing table over here. Other than a king size, if you want to fit in one more, let me think if I think we need to check whether I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, I believe you can. So, okay, other than a king size bed, this is so big. You can fit in 4 meters. You can fit in a king size and a queen bed next to you. Super single definitely can. Queen bed also can. King I don't think you can lah, but you can fit in a king and a queen bed next to you. So if you have young kids who are not ready to sleep by themselves yet, you can have another bed next to you. Good enough size and you still have the wardrobe, right? So layout more towards squarish here. I would say layout trend towards more squarish is these are some of the notes that I wrote as I'm analyzing the floor plans myself. The living and dining here. Your dining notice is behind here like a lot of the other layouts. Previously we had one layout where the dining was over here. So your wall-to-wall distance in your entire living area is 5 meters. Now a bit smaller, but doable lah. Doable. Usable. Your living and dining is going to be a bit smaller, but your master bedroom makes up for it. All the space goes towards there. Okay. Now, next floor plan. 4 bedroom Lux plus study, 1313 square feet, 1442 pre-harmonization, 1400 square feet Lux layout. I mean 4 bedroom layouts, I think in the market there still are. You can go out there and get a feel of it. Very, very good size, very livable. Usually one of the more popular layouts. Same bedroom sizes, same balcony, living yard, slightly larger study, 2.6, 1.5, right? Actually, is it even slightly 1.2 to 1.5? It's about 300. It's about 25% larger. So you do feel the difference, right? Between your study and your between this study and the previous study, it's about a 25% difference. 1.5 meters a lot more space to move your chairs lah, to roll your chairs around. Alright, wet kitchen is a bit smaller over here, 2.3, 2.6. But the dry kitchen is substantially bigger because your entryway is here. Okay, your wet kitchen 2.3, 2.6 versus the wet kitchen here 2.5 to 2.6. So you do feel the difference, 15 cm difference, right, in the wet kitchen. Okay, bedroom 2, interestingly for this floor plan, you get the same wardrobe here by the way. Before I forget, you get the same master bedroom, same wardrobe, 4 meters, then you get your wardrobe. Now, bedroom 2, before I forget, once you leave your bedroom 2, you have a little way. Actually, bedroom 2 has the best access to the study. You can incorporate this whole space together. This wall cannot hack, unfortunately, right? But you can incorporate this one, you can hack. This thin wall here, you can hack. So you can incorporate this study space somehow if you have a teenager or somebody who wants a bit more space, right? Because you don't really have an ensuite, another ensuite room here. Yeah. So 4-bedder, 3 bath with 1 wash closet here, bath 2, master bath. Yeah. Pretty standard layout. Just that now with 3 rooms having to share 1 bathroom too, probably you'll have to consider who uses the wash closet as well. Okay, now we move on to the big unit, 5 bedroom luxe. Okay, this is not the layout with the private lift yet. Later, at the very last, we will review the last floor plan with the private lift. 1475 square feet for this 5 bedroom unit, 1625 square feet pre-harmonization. You get a larger balcony versus the 4 bedroom. You still get 5.6 but 1.7 meters versus the 1.62 over here. So it's a bigger balcony and you feel it in the width, so you have a bit more space to walk out. It's not just you walk along the length of the balcony lah. Living room, yard, bedrooms, all the same. Wet kitchen is the upgrade here. You get a bigger wet kitchen. And same difference, entry setback here, 3.2 meters versus the previous 4 plus study layout. So where is your space here going? Of course, 5 bedroom cannot be asked you to use your wash closet already ma. So 1 extra bathroom and 1 extra bedroom. Bedrooms, once again, like I mentioned before, like I previously mentioned, everything is 2.5 by 3.25. Very standard. Nobody arguing here. Yeah. Everybody is just 2.5, except for a few select floor plans where the bedroom 4 might be slightly larger, but every floor plan is 3.25 by 2.5 meters. Okay, next floor plan layout, 1485 square feet, 5 bedroom luxe. Pre-harmonization is about 1636 square feet. Okay, in this floor plan, there is a private lift here, but it is not a private lift. Okay, this is not the layout of the private lift. Same balcony, same bedroom sizes, slightly different orientation. Versus the previous 5 bedroom luxe, where you enter from the kitchen. This one, you are actually entering from the living room. So the moment you come in, you see your living room, you don't even see your kitchen. Your kitchen is hidden away in some corner. Is that something that you may like? I think it differs from people to people, right? Yard area is also a bit bigger compared to the previous layout. Larger wet kitchen, the dining and dry kitchen next to each other. This may be a point of contention. Some people may like this because they may not like the dry kitchen and the dining being too far apart, where you have to, you bring things over here, you bring table over there. It's a bit tedious. Here it's just next to each other. It's a lot more accessible. All right. Other than that, bedrooms all same pretty much. 2.84 meters. Once again, your wardrobe is the same 2.8, 1.6, right? Living, dining, 5 meters, wall to wall. And since your dining is over here now, your wall to wall 5 meters, living room space, can play with it however you want. Okay, next one we're gonna look at is the final floor plan that we have. The 5 bedroom luxe, 1722 square, 1561 square feet, pre-harmonization 1722. This is also the unit that will be at the show flat, and this is the one with the private lift. Okay, so coming up, private lift over here. You have your private lift foyer, living and dining. Everything looks to be the same. The only layout in the private kitchen, with the private lift, the kitchen looks the same, sizes wise look generally the same. The main difference where you are paying for this is the lift foyer, like I mentioned here. Bedroom sizes, balcony sizes, living room sizes are all the same. Kitchen, yard, 一样, 全部一样, everything is the same. Main difference you're paying for here is your private lift and your lift foyer, right? But whether this is something you want to pay for or not, it's the only layout. This is the only stack in the entire project with a private lift. If you really feel like you want a private lift for elderlies in your house, which I see potentially the buyers here might want to cater or make provisions for such needs in future. If really you need this, then of course go for it. You may be paying a bit more for the private lift foyer and private lift access, but if it's a need, it's a need. Family comes first, right? Okay, that's the big stuff. Okay, so next I'm going to share a bit about what I like to do called the entry matrix. When people talk about whether certain projects can buy or cannot buy, I find it very odd, very subjective, because there's a price to everything. You can buy, but if it's, let's talk about a project like TEMBUSU Grand. People say, oh, cannot buy lah. But if TEMBUSU Grand was selling at 1,005 PSF, would you not buy? Of course buy. But TEMBUSU Grand was selling at, then let's talk about another side-out project in District 15 last year, Grand Naman. Everybody was like, Grand Naman must buy. Top project, very good. If Grand Diamond launched at 3,500 PSF, would you enter? Cannot be, right? So there is a price to everything. When you talk about whether you can buy or cannot buy, it depends on the launch pricing. It depends on what price you're entering. Because we are drawing comparisons to the nearby projects and nearby launches. So with that being said, I like to come up with my own entry matrix of what prices I'll buy certain unit types if I was buying, and what prices importantly I will skip if I'm buying. Before I share the matrix, I want to stress that this is just my personal take. The prices that I will enter, that I will skip, is only as of the current day. Alright? So further down the road, 2 years down the road, maybe I will not enter. I may enter at the prices that I say I will skip. But as of right now, I may not enter the prices there. Right? So without further ado, this is the unit type that I would say. So what am I trying to say here? 1 plus study, if it's 2006 PSF and below, anything in green, I don't even hesitate, I will buy. Anything in red, I will most likely skip unless there is a very strong reason for me to revisit my decision. Now, 90% of the time, 95% of the time, the launch price or what you choose to enter is in the orange circle. But in the very fringe scenarios that there is gonna be a launch or a bedroom type that is within the green circle, please go buy. Just look for your agent, go find somebody, contact somebody, tell them about it, because looking at the current market, these are the projects that you buy. You are not gonna suffer. You're gonna make money. It's just a matter of how much you make, right? So most likely, like I mentioned, you're gonna come in the orange circle. Orange circle is where you decide. In fact, actually, to be frank, 1 bedroom, 2007 PSF, I most likely will still buy. I think it's no. Let's keep it as orange. Maybe your profit may not be as much. There may be other purchases in the market that are a bit better. So why I put the orange is not just because the project itself may not make money. In fact, I think 2007 PSF at Emerald of Katong most likely will still make money. But it's just a matter of whether there are better purchases out there. So sometimes the orange is orange because there may be other projects or there may be other things that I feel like are better buys in the market, right? So just share with you all this. In particular, some of the 3-bedroom types is because I personally feel TEMBUSU Grand currently has 2003 PSF 3-bedder units. So 2004 PSF. Now 2003 PSF, if they are launching at the same price, of course this without harmonization, I'll just go for the 2300 PSF without harmonization, right? So you get a lot more livable space. But TEMBUSU Grand, if it's 2004, then maybe you consider 2003 PSF for TEMBUSU Grand. And I collect keys end of 2025, I move it earlier. Is it better? Yeah, so you have to do your own weightage out there, right? Okay, now District 15 has a lot of launches. It's a very popular area. Everybody likes East Coast. Everybody likes this Katong area. Everybody likes to be around this area. Historically, how have they performed? TEMBUSU Grand did quite well, 53%. So Grand Diamond did really, really well. 1,000 over units. They sold 550 units in opening weekend, right? And developers actually went up a lot. Oh, something I want to talk about as well. So for the developers, Simlian, let's talk a bit about the developers. Simlian traditionally have had an approach where they try to launch the projects at a good price on opening weekend. They always try and ensure that their projects sell well on opening weekend. Okay, so with that in mind, price staging will come in along the way, of course. If you are able to secure a unit on opening weekend, usually it will be one of the better prices compared to other developers such as CDL, GoGo, for instance, where their price staging may not be as much, but their prices are a bit more controlled. Simlian likes to launch at ensure that their opening weekend sells very well. That's just how traditionally they do it. Okay, so we talked about TEMBUSU and Grand Diamond both sold really, really well. Continuum suffered a bit, 26.5% sold, but that's because their PSF is much higher as well. 2732 PSF, TEMBUSU Grand sold 2465 PSF, Grand Diamond, you're selling also, let me see, opening weekend probably about 2.4 PSF, 2.4K as well. So there's a 300 PSF price gap. Continuum, you can argue that it is a freehold project, right? But 300 PSF is a bit high for my liking. Yeah, a bit too much. It's like 2000, 200 PSF more for the 250 PSF for the freehold tech, maybe a bit better, right? So Continuum didn't perform as well. So the other 99 projects though, like TEMBUSU and Grand Namban, all both did very well. So what do you think? What do you predict is going to sell? Emerald of Katong is going to sell at? Okay, let's look at the nearby projects, the recent trends, the recent transactions. So far it's been going up. You can see TEMBUSU Grand from the launch until now, some spikes here and there, but largely price hasn't gone up as much. Grand Namban got up slightly, Continuum went up a bit more, right? Now, because we are not in the resale market yet, all of these are just price staging by the developers, right? So that means TEMBUSU Grand, maybe in light of Emerald of Katong, because of that, TEMBUSU Grand has kept their prices relatively steady. But after Emerald of Katong is launched, whether they increase prices depending on the uptake of Emerald of Katong remains to be seen, because 2.4 PSF for TEMBUSU Grand quite competitive also, right? Of course, Emerald of Katong, we have to see what prices Simulate chooses to launch a project at. Okay, so I have shared most of the floor plans, what I feel about it, and some of the past performances. Hopefully this helps you to narrow down a bit more about what kind of bedroom types you are going for, what type of units, depending on whether you're going for 1, 2, 3 or 4. 1 bedroom you don't have any choices, but 2, 3, 4 you have a bit more choices. 5 bedroom you choose whether you want private lift or you don't want private lift lah, right? But help to break down a bit more, and you can see depending on your personal needs which one is more suitable for you. As for my personal take, I think Emerald of Katong is a pretty good project, especially because good developer, Similian, opening weekend should launch quite well. No harmonization, floor plans quite healthy, and I've been to the show flat, I've seen the unit itself. To be frank, I don't think the finishes are the best, but that's what they're going for, right? They want to give you the size, they make everything suitable to your liking, and to me that's one of the when developers don't try to fluff up too much for RCI and OCR projects, they don't try to fluff up too much by giving you like random stuff and charging you a markup for it. That's all of the things I appreciate. So whether you choose to like this project or not, I think it'll be interesting to hear. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them in the section below. I do think they will launch quite well. I am going to estimate, let's say, in very Eric Chu fashion, you want to estimate how many of the units also. I believe 50 to 60%. I think at least 50%, right? The project should sell quite well on opening weekend. That's just what I feel. I'll be eager to see, unless something happens. In fact, you know what? With the recent interest rates coming down, actually, to be honest, I think even 60-70% is doable for Emerald of Katong on launch weekend. Okay, so I've shared all that I wanted to. If you are considering, if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the section below. Hopefully this has been helpful. This is one of the first videos that I'm doing on new launches in a very long while. New upcoming launches, I'll be covering more details on Chuan Park, Alta, Parktown, everything that's coming up once I get more information. So I'll see you guys again then.